Hey guys, this video will contain all the information we know about Arc 7 of ReZero. It's highly recommended that you are up to date with the web novel, so that means Arc 6 chapter 90, and it's highly recommended you check out the above side story on screen, which I have a summary for, as it's a prelude into Arc 7. Before I begin, I want to quickly talk about the side stories which were bundled with volume 24 of the light novel. The first, of course, was the Declaration of War, which I've covered on my channel. The second, which was Typhon's Trial, which I've also covered on my channel. And the third one was a story involving Felt and Reinhard when they take Sirius back to the royal capital. I will be making a summary for this side story in the future, so do look forward to that. In order to talk about Arc 7, we need to understand the premise of the arc. What is actually happening? We know from the previous side story, Shadows of Conspiracy and Declaration of War, that Al and Priscilla and Schultz, and maybe more members of the Priscilla camp, are headed to Vollachia due to the assassination attempt, which may have been led by Vincent, Priscilla's older half-brother. Whether or not Vincent was actually behind this attack is another matter entirely. We do know, however, that Tappei has answered a fan question where someone did ask him whether or not there would be a story where other countries would realize that Lagunica did not have a king and therefore they would send spies to cause trouble, and Tappei responded with Arc 7. However, after reading Crimson Afterglow, I do not believe Vincent would be the kind that would kill Priscilla after the deal they made in Crimson Afterglow. So I believe what's actually happened here is the assassins were sent to kill a royal candidate. And so they targeted Priscilla, not knowing she was Wallachian royalty. And because Priscilla is hot-headed, she wants to retaliate, and it's just bad luck that they chose Priscilla as a target. Whether or not this is true, we'll see at a later date, but either way, it will involve Priscilla, Al, Shou, and of course Subaru in the long run. Moving on from the actual premise, let's look at the characters we know are going to appear in Arc 7. We know that Roswell Almathers, Garfield, Otto, Frederica, Priscilla, Al, and most likely several other characters are going to make an appearance, but we know that these 6 are concrete and have been confirmed by Tappei himself. So what I'm going to do is look at each character and try and predict what their role is going to be using the plot information we've been given and what Tappei has actually stated in his question and answer sessions. We do know that Tappei has confirmed that Roswell will be present for Arc 7. So he'll be an integral member of the Arc 7 squadron. And what's also interesting is Tappei has also mentioned this idea that Roswell can fight unarmed. And Tappei has responded Arc 7. So we're most likely actually going to see Roswell fight people. We do know that from Season 2, Roswell can kill people with his fists and his legs. He's actually pretty strong physically. So it's interesting to see that. However, this is what I think Roswell's main purpose is for the arc. It's been confirmed from Tappei that Arc 7 is known as urgency. There's going to be a feeling of urgency in Chapter 7 or Arc 7. And so what this means is that at the end of Arc 4, if you remember, Roswell has stated to Subaru that if he fails to save someone, he will kill everyone, essentially, and make Subaru restart. So I feel that Roswell is here as the insurance. I feel like there's going to be urgency because someone is going to die, and if Subaru doesn't make it, Roswell is going to just straight up kill everyone. And I believe that's what Roswell's position is going to be in this arc. After the events of Arc 5, Garfield stayed behind with everyone else and Otto and helped reconstruct Pre-Stella. We also know from the special side story, which I've spoken about before, Typhon's Trial, that Garfield is helping locate Typhon's remains, and he's currently locked up in a witch's trial, and we do not know his fate. However, due to the fact that he appears in Arc 7, we know that he most likely has survived, and he will appear with the main characters. So what is his role in Arc 7? Well, luckily, Tappei has actually told us. He has stated that he's planning a hyper battle strongman arc for Garfield in Arc 7. We know that Garfield is actually really strong, but on a world stage he isn't that strong. And you may remember that I made a theory called Chilled Saint Garfield, the strongest rezero character theory. And again, I feel like this arc is going to feed into that theory, this idea that Garfield becomes really strong. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up fighting one of the god generals of Vollachia. Frederica does make an appearance during Arc 7, however I think she's just the compulsory maid for the arc, and she'll be looking after Roswell. Also, do keep in mind that her main arc is Arc 11 as shown on screen right now, so I believe she will have a minority role and she'll just be there to help Roswell and maybe some Garfield relationship building. Otto will also be present during Arc 7. Also realize that Garfield is also coming along, so I wouldn't be surprised if Otto and Garfield come as a team. The most interesting thing that I think most people are forgetting is that Otto is staying behind in Pre-Stella currently because he's waiting for the Book of Wisdom to be reforged. And now he will have the complete Book of Wisdom and he will be in the vicinity of Roswell. So that's going to be an interesting interaction with Otto, who has the Book of Wisdom, and Roswell, who gave up on using the Book of Wisdom. As stated before, I've already kind of went over Priscilla as a character. However, of course, she's going to Vollachia, and I feel like she's going to drop out of the royal candidate contest, and she's going to become the Wallachian Empress after the events of Arc 7. I feel like she will meet Vincent and eventually kill Vincent. I feel like there will be a point where Cecilis does show up, considering he is the right-hand man of Vincent. And I feel like Priscilla will also get closure on Arakia and they might fight or do battle. Or maybe Arakia will join Priscilla. It's also worth mentioning that Priscilla was willing to sacrifice her life to save Arakia when she was poisoned. But when someone like Aldebaran gets poisoned, she won't care. She would let him die. So it's interesting how she treats Arakia and how she treats Aldebaran. So I do feel like there will be a conflict and I feel like Arakia will join the Priscilla camp. Also, by the way, I'm adding this after editing my video, but in this Memory Snow OVA, it actually shows Schultz in the window, so I thought that was pretty interesting to point out. In ReZero, there are 3 great mysteries. Aldebaran's name and meaning, why Beetlejuice is misspelt to Beetlejuice. So I'm not sure if you know, his name is spelt with a P rather than a B. And the third meaning and mystery is the meaning behind Citella's name. I feel like in Arc 7 we're going to get the closure of Al as a character. I feel like he will be killed off in this arc. There's a lot of theories that he is Pride. And if that's the case, I believe he will die during this arc. So do look forward to that. Again, that's just my prediction. But there's a reason why he doesn't want to go to Vollachia, and he was against it, and Priscilla killed him nearly 1,000 times before he opted to go. So I do feel like this is the end for Al. With that said, I'm going to end this video on this final question and answer which Tappy has stated. Tappy's favorite scene will be coming in Arc 7. So I'm wondering what this Arc 7 scene will be about. Either way, let me know your predictions if you disagree with some of my sort of statements, and let me know what you think down below. But thank you for watching.